This is a game room tour and inventory for my collection in my office. There's a lot of stuff in here, and so I want to kind of go through a lot of it so that I can keep track of my stuff, first of all, but so other people can see it as well, because sometimes people ask to be able to see what's in my game room. So, just as a quick tour, we're going to start. Actually, we'll start over here on the left side, because this is where the door is over here, and then you can kind of see what's going on there. So on top of the door, there's a Mario Kart Deluxe poster, just a cardboard poster, but a really cool decoration. Got it for free from Walmart several years ago when Mario Kart 8 was out, and I think they were discarding it. My favorite game ever made, Ninja Gaiden Black, and then 3 boxes. Those are just box onlys, the 3 Ninja Gaiden games. Got them really cheap because they're box only, but they are authentic boxes. And then the 3 statues from Ninja Gaiden Black: Ryu, Rachel, and Ayane. There's a 4th one. I don't remember the lady's name, but it's like Ryu's girlfriend or wife at the time. Down here, a display card for the Pokemon trading game. I don't play the Pokemon trading game, nor do I really care about it, but I want some of the few Pokemon I do care about. Sylveon. What's really cool about this card, though, it actually changes into a different Pokemon. So there's Umbreon. Just a really unique and cool card, a giant lenticular that I really liked having and display in my game room. A ton of Amiibo. A lot of these are categorized. There's Amiibo everywhere in this room. I only get the ones I like, but apparently I like a lot of Nintendo stuff because there's a lot of them. Probably, I don't know, 60, 70, maybe more Amiibo. Got Metroid, all the Fire Emblem, I think, or most of them. A bunch of the Splatoon, different characters, a lot of the Smash ones. Not a huge fan of Monster Hunter, but I do really like their Amiibos, especially some of the new ones that have like the gold coloring and stuff. Over here on top here, a couple figures and stuff. The Castlevania Amiibo, 2B from a Nier Automata figure, the deluxe one with the little robot. Really like that game. That was something I really wanted to have in my collection. A working Virtual Boy. It does have a cracked jewel in the middle. It's pretty common, but as a controller. And then I think I have Wario Land, or whatever Wario game was made exclusively for the Virtual Boy. That's the only game I have. Just really cool to have the Virtual Boy. I don't really play it. It's not a comfortable thing to play. And then a Game Boy Micro. Really nice condition. Pretty cool. I also have the original box somewhere. I'm not sure if it's visible in the collection. There's actually a lot of stuff sometimes behind stuff. A little Castlevania collection, the limited run ultimate version, and then the Succubus figure. I think maybe, there it is, back there is the Game Boy Micro box behind the Castlevania thing. This is probably the rarest piece in my collection. I traded a couple box Pokemon games for it. It's a double-sided store display for Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, and Game Boy. There's no value for it because they don't exist. They're just, really obscure. It's pretty banged up. It's got scratches and dings on it, but it's such a cool, unique thing. I just love having it in here. More Amiibos all the way down, and then there's the Bayonetta 3 Ultimate. She's going to find a spot later, probably. That's kind of where she fits right now as I keep sorting and ranging. I've been trying to get rid of some stuff that I don't use as much, and bring in stuff that I want to make sure to collect. That whole corner, that whole edge over here is just Zelda, all Zelda stuff. So there's a ton of Amiibo, as I mentioned before, and then tons of special editions. A special edition Wii U console, the Breath of the Wild Master Edition, which is getting pretty rare and expensive. Boxed Game Boy Advance games, more Amiibo, Wind Waker Special Edition, and a bunch of different 3DS consoles. So there's even more kind of on the side and kind of behind stuff. I don't have enough space anymore, but I love collecting them and having them. Below that's the Pokemon section. So I have a ton of Pokemon games, some original boxed games. Like I said earlier, I got rid of some of them to get that Nintendo sign, but I still have red, blue, yellow, crystal. I actually have 2 of these special edition Eevee boxes because I managed to get one cheap. Down here, some box 64 controllers, the Nintendo Deluxe set, some over on the side, some special edition Switch stuff. Danganronpan, Akiba's Trip, Yurakill looks like. My Vita collection. I actually have quite a bit of Vita and PSP stuff. I really don't play it or use it. I'm not a big Sony guy. I do have a good amount of games, but they're not as personal, so as you can tell, compared to everything else, they're not very well sorted. And then more Switch special editions, Monster Boy and Pocky and Rocky are back there. A couple of things. Down below, there's some Game Boy Advance shells and things that I picked up over the years. This wall is kind of the big wall, just because there's so much cool stuff here. Zero Mission banner, an Authentic Store banner that I got. I had gotten a Donkey Kong one and immediately traded it for this because I'm not a Donkey Kong fan at all. That's probably my least favorite Nintendo game, like series. I don't care about Donkey Kong. I want to, I guess, but I just don't. Maybe the new movie coming out in 2022 or 2023 will change my mind. A little bit of Sony stuff. It's kind of funny. That red and white Spider-Man looks really good with the Switch. That's why it's kind of there. But I got the Spider-Man Special Edition PS4 Pro and the Twisted Metal store display, which is really unique. I got a Metroid, the Mega Yarn Yoshi, some more Amiibo, some boxed Game Boy Advance things, some of the Shantae stuff, and then of course the Switch itself, the Switch kiosk itself, which is really cool. Metroid poster, Xbox sign, and you can see over here on the side there's also the neon Xbox one. I'm just kind of out of space for it. I'm trying to keep it safe, and then hopefully I'll have a place for it eventually. I have a ton of these translights. I've gotten lucky. There's been a couple places that have just given to me, so I have quite a big collection. I just like having them sorted. There's my extra controllers and just some unique controllers I have. So I have two Spider-Man controllers, and then the Master Chief Xbox Series X controller, and then the Halo Xbox One, I think. I do like Halo. Halo's been one of the things that I've always enjoyed from Xbox. This whole area is just dedicated to Metroid. A little bit hard to see because the lights are in here, a little weird. But up on top, there's the Metroid 3DS, Special Editions figures, box Super Metroid. There's actually two of those. I don't have the game for the second one, but I have two box Super Metroids for the Super Nintendo. Basically anything that's Metroid I try to have. Mainline stuff, maybe not super obscure, but the box games and things like that. So I have all the box games either here or in my DS collection. And then probably the coolest thing I think is the GameCube Metroid big box. It's not a special edition GameCube, just the box is special edition, but it's metallic and just looks beautiful. Biggest part of the collection probably is the Switch collection. I think I'm almost 200 games, physically and digitally, between special editions, and there's 3 full rows, and there's even more down below. There's just a lot of Switch games. I tend to collect the more obscure ones that I can, and then first party whenever they either go really cheap or I pick up as cheap as possible, because I know I'll be able to, get Smash Brothers eventually, because a lot of people bought it. My meager Dreamcast collection, it's meager but very significant. Mostly anime stuff. So Berserk, JoJo, Marvel vs. Capcom. And then behind there, and it's kind of hidden on purpose, I think, is the PS2 stuff. So this is actually probably one of the most expensive parts of my collection. There's a lot of stuff in there that's super, super rare. Blood Will Tell, Castlevania's, Dot Hack is really expensive. Haunting Ground, Kuon, Marvel vs. Capcom, Rule of Rose, The Silent Hills. As you can tell, there's some really, really rare games. The Xenosaga 3 is over with the Xenoblade stuff, all my Xeno stuff that I love and adore too. So she's over there because I feel like it deserves kind of its own little area. Shantae, all the sealed Shantae games for the Switch, those are pretty pricey. All the Wii and Wii U stuff down here. I'm not a big collector of Wii U and Wii stuff. The Golden 64, All the N64s are in this collection. There's a couple boxed ones too, which is pretty cool. And then down below, all the different colored Wiis, and even more Switch Special Edition stuff. Over here, starting from the bottom, I have quite a few Xboxes. Xbox 360, specifically all the Halo Special Editions. There's even the Halo Xbox Series X, and then of course the Halo, the original green Halo one, which is awesome just to have every single one. And the Star Wars one, because it looks pretty cool too. Threw that in there. Xbox 360, Xbox games, mostly rarer games. It's pretty easy to get a hold of Xbox stuff. It's still pretty cheap. So I've gotten some of the stuff I really liked, and some of the stuff that's pretty rare. DS and 3DS. So that entire bottom row is all 3DS. The top row is all DS. And again, a lot of rare and unique games. And then, of course, right in the middle, blocking everything. And I'm not sure he's going to stay there. Just he's kind of there in the meantime. The Pikachu. N64 Pikachu. But yeah, there's a ton of unique stuff in here. Some really high level games, Etrian Odysseys and stuff. Some stuff that was just really hard to find, but it's cool I have most of the stuff that I like. Next layer up, you got PlayStation 4. It's pretty well covered right now. But I have Ys for the Switch. Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2, like the big box versions with the Steelbook, are just obscenely difficult to find. I've never seen them in the wild. One random guy in St. Louis posted them for pretty cheap, for about maybe 2/3 of the price, and I just got them because I never knew if I was going to get them again. They just kind of seem to keep creeping up. They're really nice. They were in great condition, so I was happy to get those. One of my few Nendroids from Nier Automata. I love that game. Above that, the Samus 3DS and all the PS4 games. Have quite a good collection of PS4, some expensive games here as well, including Godzilla, which I think is, at the time, the most expensive PS4 game available, as far as like mainline games, not, like random things that were short printed or like made rare on purpose is what I mean. Above that, we got GameCube. So I have a ton of GameCube. Definitely have some good stuff on GameCube. I don't have the really expensive ones, mostly by choice, like Go-Go Hyper Grind. I'm trying to remember what are the other ones. They just never really interested me. I had chances to get them at different times, and I kind of regret it value-wise, but I still don't really. Cubivore is another one I think about. I have the one I cared about most, which was Fire Emblem. I've actually had a couple, and then part of my Joy-Con collection have all the different colors that are made in the US and some pretty rare and unique boxes. There's actually some more in the other section. This other top right section is all Fire Emblem. So I have all the Fire Emblem games that were released in the US. Some pretty cool and unique figures. The Camilla figure, which is actually one of the most expensive things in my collection. Who knew? Ike, his box came all banged up. But it was fine. I don't mind opening it. I usually like to keep things sealed, but it happens. He's cool looking. I'm happy. He's one of my mains in Smash, and I was glad to have him. The Echoes box, a lot of special editions, and of course the Faith Special Edition, which is now one of the most expensive games. I used to have two. I picked up an extra one for like $120, and I got rid of it for pretty cheap, and that's kind of sad because it's really expensive. This is probably one of the things that it's most appealing. I think it's because of the setup, just how it looks, which is the N64s. The fantastic ones all nice and sorted on a shelf. Smoke, watermelon, fire, I forget. Jungle green, ice blue, and grape, I think. But all with their matching controllers. And then some more of those translights that go in the Switch kiosk. Just love how they look. Sealed controller. Got a Luigi there with the pup. And as you can see in some of those, there's also some extra Joy-Con colors kind of hidden back there, the space thing. Here's an area that's turning into another kind of Xeno section. I'm kind of working on this. I'm not sure if it's going to stay there, but I have the Mithra and Pyra figures, and then also the Siren model kit, which was kind of disappointingly small and so hard to put together, but just really wanted to have, along with everything going else on. And with the amiibos, I think that Siren is going to look really nice. Some special edition Pro controllers, horizontal translite, which is pretty awesome looking. This is the main TV where I play games and stuff like that. And so as you can see all the different consoles and stuff that are down here. The 360, the Switch, the NES, the PS4. So that's the super limited edition, like 100 million version PS4. It's blue. It's pretty cool. Backwards compatible PS3, the Minecraft Xbox One, the Halo Xbox Series X, and then a bunch of controllers and stuff down there. Why do I have so many Xboxes? Well, the Minecraft one I just like to kind of keep safe and it looks unique. And the Xbox 360, there's a couple games that are that work a lot better on there than they do on the newer stuff, even though it's pretty backwards compatible. My giant Epic sign that I love, I got from a friend in a good trade. I love having those old signs, original signs. Probably my most meaningful sign in here, my blue Nintendo sign. Got it with my wife as part of our anniversary weekend. It was so awesome just to be able to find it. Works beautifully, looks beautiful, I think. Neons are one of my favorite thing. Tons and tons of more amiibos always hanging out. And of course you can't have amiibos without the official amiibo kiosk, which I love. It's not 100% complete. It's missing the little acrylic front, but I'm just happy to have one. And then of course the Wii U kiosk, which is also one of the things that I absolutely adore, with the controllers and everything like that. And then look, another translite. And there's my balloons. Balloons would pay for a lot of this video game stuff. Bunch of squid plushes. Some of them are from Japan that I love. They're really soft. My wife got those for me. Probably the most expensive, cheapest thing I ever got, the GameCube Lite. I paid $100 or less for it, and it's worth a lot more than that. Pretty awesome looking. It's one of the things that stays on all the time because it's a fluorescent. PSVR is kind of hanging out there. More amiibos, more figures. PS4 kiosk, which I just got at the making of this video, which is just enjoying. I do like the PS4 a bit. Inside this closet, there's a ton of more stuff. There's a lot of controllers in there. There's some other figures of different stuff, non-video game stuff that I collect. There is box consoles. Let's see. Yeah, just kind of a whole bunch of crazy stuff in there. So, and then the last section here is that used to be where the other Xenoblade stuff was, but now I got a second boxed Fantastic N64 with the Donkey Kong set. So that's pretty cool. It has like all the plastic and stuff in it. It's really good condition. And then the purple. So I have purple and green in box, which is pretty cool. Some amiibo. The other part of the Xeno section, which is kind of in transition right now because there's even a Shantae on there. But I love those plushies. Those plushies are probably some of the rarest plushies I've owned. They're exclusive to the limited run store in North Carolina, and you can only win them out of a crane machine, which makes them obscenely difficult to get because you have to be there and you have to actually win them. I wouldn't be surprised if those things were hundreds and hundreds of dollars in some years, but who knows, they might release them on the store. I didn't pay that much for them. I got them pretty early when they came out, so hopefully. And then all the special editions, that's something I'd like to kind of spread out more. Love the Xenoblade 2 and 3 special editions. The original Xenoblade Chronicles just has a big sword, kind of boring. One thing I do love to look at, though, is that Xenosaga 3 Lenticular, which again, kind of like the Pokemon thing earlier, changes when you look at a different angle, so I think that's really awesome. This is kind of a miscellaneous section, just some really cool, unique stuff. Those Poochies, I have two of them. They're pretty rare. I don't really know where to put them. They're kind of covering some other cool stuff back there. There's like a boxed original Game Boy, but I have some boxed NES games, and then I also have the Super Nintendo, my boxed Super Nintendo collection. Not very big, but you can see there's my second copy of Super Metroid, and then of course the big one. I mean, this is like the, people wish they had, which is the Chrono Trigger in amazing condition. Game Boy Advance, one of my first video game sets or consoles. Definitely love it. Have tons and tons of them, as you can tell. Most of them original. I've gotten some in really good condition. They're kind of covering some of my non-Nintendo stuff. Love BioShock. Have some really cool, unique BioShock things, including a light-up Big Daddy that just looks really unique. My companion cube from Portal. Made this pretty recently, was the Splatoon area. So one of my daughters really loves Splatoon, and it's just really cool. It looks really cool with that little border thing too that kind of leads to it. I got the special edition consoles and amiibo and stuff. And then some extra statues here. Danganronpa, Zelda, and then some other stuff, books, Nintendo Powers, things like that. There's little corners where some of the extra stuff goes. And then that's over my first display I ever had. My brother gave it to me, which is my Samus. And then the last thing up here is the PlayStation Neon. It's kind of hard to look at because it's so bright, but it's awesome. So a lot of cool lights, a lot of cool stuff in here. Just a really unique setup. Like I said, this is probably the best view, and it's the easiest view because it's kind of what you see when you walk in, and just really fun. So this is the video.